Hey guys, my name's Dan. Again, I'm from Metro Nova Creative, and we do brand development for small businesses. Wanted to talk a little bit today about that process and some of the things that we do and with our clients. And I like to say a lot of times, again, our clients primarily are small businesses in that first 5 to 10 year range. And something that we do is we don't just sell logos and marketing and websites and branding solutions. We sell time to small business owners because that's your biggest asset. So a lot of those things like social media or building a website or doing those things take up a tremendous amount of time, especially if you're not familiar with that platform. And if we can provide products that's going to take that off your plate and let you hang with your family a little bit longer, or spend some time with your kids, or take that vacation, or whatever it is, that's what we want to do. And as we're approaching all of those projects, something that I always have in the back of my mind is kind of my go-to pillars of branding. Now, branding in today's current market is the idea of the emotional connection between a consumer and a product. And that's really what it's been stripped down to. And I'm a little bit old school, so I'm more inclined to think that branding develops from the visual identity aspect of things, so the logo design, the icon, really what it is in its tradition. And the reason that is because, again, a lot of our clients are small business owners. They don't have, Kim Kardashian and Pepsi money, so how do we make that emotional connection for them? And that's where these pillars of branding will kind of come in and help them out. So there are 3 pillars. The first one is the difference. And this is my favorite part. And primarily we're working with people doing a logo design at this part. But this is my all-time favorite part, is the difference. And I get to ask, what's your story? Did you grow up and your dad ran, a wood shop, downtown or whatever, and you grew up with that passion and drive, and now you're doing it, or do you have an Elvis stamp collection and you just really got to get some extra capital for more Elvis stamps, or whatever, what's your purpose? What's the difference that makes you special, makes you stand out, and why are you going to be the best option, hopefully, for your clients moving forward? So that's a really important step in the pillars. It's really engaging, it's really exciting, because especially for a business that's already been established maybe, and they're looking to do a new logo, it can be really intimidating. It could be a lot of stress considering all of that change. And so this part of that process allows me to sit down and kind of get them engaged and get them more comfortable and get them a little excited talking about why they're doing this in the first place. Again, love your brand is our slogan, and that's a big part of what we do, is try to remind our clients of why they love their brand in the first place, and why they'll love the new one too. So an example of the difference for Metro Nova Creative is our team has got years of experience working with small business owners and production facilities and stuff like that, and dealing with the same thing over and over again of, hey, we need your vector file for your logo, and they look at you like, I got somebody on Craigslist, I don't know what a vector file is, I have no idea, I have a JPEG, or it's stretched and it's weird and it's pixelated, and you ask them all the same, well, why don't you have, get someone to do a professional logo for you? And a lot of small business owners, I think, in their mind, they assume they don't have the equity in the business to get, in touch with a firm and to get that project done the right way. And so our difference is providing that to them. And I mean, the number one thing you can do when starting a business is find a problem and sell the solution. And that's what we did. We found a problem with small business owners that felt like they didn't have the equity to have great branding, and we sold them a solution for that. We gave them affordable packages that allows them to grow and be sustainable and be productive. So that's the difference. The next one, a lot of people will call, and everyone has their own version of the pillars of branding, and these are mine, and I pick and choose, and everyone kind of does their own thing. A lot of people will say the promise is the second one, and I just don't totally agree, because I feel like the promise, as a business owner, you promise not to give people terrible products, right? Like, you promise not to tell them, I'm selling you a car, and you give them a piece of toast. Obvious, right? It's very clear. So I like to say the purpose, your why. so to speak. So, what's the purpose of this? What's your purpose of this product? What's your purpose of, who are you helping? What are you changing? And again, asking these questions get them, they get the client thinking, and they get engaged, and they really start thinking about who they're selling to and how they're going to do that. And all that really helps us start getting things going, developing that brand, and coming up with a plan for them. Like our purpose again is to provide affordable products to small business owners that's going to allow them to grow, look good doing it, and have sustainable growth. It's the most important thing. I'll walk away from $2,000 in a heartbeat if it's the wrong $2,000. I don't care. I've lost plenty of clients that said, we want to buy this, and I said, that's not the right thing for you to spend your money on, and they said, well, we're going elsewhere. And I'm okay with that, because my purpose is to make sure that whatever that they buy, they're educated well on the product, they understand what they're getting into, and they're getting the right product. Because if they spend all their money and their budget goes down to zero, that's a bad business decision. They're not around next month to buy more stuff. So our purpose is, like I said, to hold hand, be a good sponsor for them, and just and help them through that process and make sure that they're well taken care of. So the final pillar is really where we start narrowing down, we're the last aspects of a logo design, or the visual identity, or how we're going to present it on social media or whatever platform we're going to end up using, building a website, and it's the target persona. And this one is always the funniest with clients who have never really put the thought into who their target audience is for small businesses. And an example, there's an HVAC company that we worked for, and we had this discussion with them. He said, so who do you think your target audience is, your target persona? Who are you trying to market to? And he said, everybody with a house. Okay, well, you don't have that much money. Like, you don't have everybody with a house budget. So what we have to do is really stop and think, and we do some B2C kind of questions, and really figure age brackets and demographic and where they live and how much money. We've got to go through all those questions. But what we want to really make sure that we're doing with a small business is finding that, reverse engineering that everyone with a house to finding a specific group of people that own a house, and targeting them, and making sure that the content that's going to be provided and the logo is appealing to them, and creating that raving lunatic fan base, and really just be hyper focused on that small demographic and let it grow organically. Because if you do a heck of a great job for 15 people, guess what? They're your new sales team. Those 15 people are going to tell their neighbors, who are going to tell their neighbors. So if you don't blow your whole budget on trying to market with everyone with a house, just find one neighborhood of people with houses and just say, hey, we're going to do a great job for this entire neighborhood, or this type of person, or whatever, whatever it is. And so that's really that third pillar, is just trying to manage their expectations, find the economically sound decision on how to market and how to get out there, so you're not throwing away dollars and printing 20,000 every door direct mail cards that don't go anywhere, or get thrown away, or they're the wrong message was on it, or whatever it was. We want to make sure that we're spending their money wisely, and then grow from there. So we really are taking what we learn. Okay, well, let's adjust a little bit and expand a little bit and expand a little bit, and that's really the sustainable growth that we want to help with our clients. So that's that kind of final pillar of branding, and all of that together, it's fun. Again, it's meant to be engaging to get them excited. We even do some SWOT analysis, but a lot of times we'll come to a client's office, so we don't expect them to pull out their dry erase board and start doing all the SWOT analysis stuff. But it's good to think about those things, and it's like I said, even if the client doesn't realize it, I'm thinking about those. Those are questions I'm asking in the back of my head throughout the process of a logo design and creating a brand and finding an identity for that small business owner. So that about covers the pillars of branding. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to know more information, please just comment on the video, and we'll get back to you, and hope everyone enjoyed. So thank you so much.